Welcome to the course of quality management or total quality management. Today is the first lecture session. Today we are going to discuss three particular topics. The first topic is what is actually meant by quality and the introduction of quality management or total quality management. The second thing that we will discuss, it is related to why actually this course is important, why we will study quality management, that we will discuss. And the third thing that we will discuss today, that is how we have designed this particular course and how these approaches actually can be categorized, that we will discuss. So these three things we will discuss today. So first, let me give the introduction of quality. Quality means there is no single definition of quality. As you can see from the slide, that there is no single definition of quality. But quality basically means fitness for some specific purpose. That is the general definition and very useful definition of quality as well. Okay. Here, the purpose is very, very important term. Why? Because suppose you just think about the a gear which is used for sugarcane extracting machine. Okay. The kind of gear which is used for sugarcane extracting machine, even if it is not very accurate, then also it might have a good quality because the task is not very difficult. Okay. But you just think about the gear which is used in lathe machine or lathe machine in a factory, even if it is more accurate as compared to the sugarcane extracting machine, or as compared to the gear which is used in sugarcane extracting machine, but it might be not very much suitable for the lathe if it is not if it doesn't possess very high accuracy. Okay. So you can understand that what, for which purpose you are using the product, that is very, very important. So whenever you will give the definition of quality, always keep in mind that quality means fitness for a specific purpose. Okay. Now, quality generally focuses on different parameters. We will discuss later on. Conformance to specifications of target, fitness for use, value for price paid, support services, psychological factors. Manufacturing quality focuses on tangible outputs like product performance, whereas service quality focuses on intangible outputs like quick response, waiting time, etc. Okay, so uh, basically, if you want to understand that why we want to study quality management or total quality management, you need to first understand the basic some basic concepts. We know that there are basically two different types of industries. One is manufacturing industry and another is service industry. Manufacturing industries create a great wealth for the mankind, and in manufacturing industry there is a production process where there is some inputs, some raw materials are there, and you convert those raw materials into some final products with the help of machining, manufacturing process. It could be machining, or it could be welding, or suppose metal forming process, metal joining process, metal cutting process. So different types of manufacturing processes exist. So uh, this is actually the industries that make some products. So those industries are known as manufacturing industries, or usually very often we treat those industries as core industries. But apart from those manufacturing industries, there are also some industries which are termed as service industries. They do not manufacture products as such, but they give different types of services. For example, the hotel industry, they they can provide us accommodation. So that is a service industry. For example, uh, suppose security services industry, they provide us securities. So uh, those are like service industries. The manufacturing industries has some tangible outputs, but the service industries, they have actually intangible outputs. Okay, so manufacturing quality focuses on tangible outputs like product performance, whereas service quality focuses on intangible outputs like quick response, waiting time, etc. So, uh, actually, in case of manufacturing, if you now the whole course of the quality management or the total quality management, we will basically focus on the manufacturing industries, because if we focus on manufacturing industries, we can also implement similar sort of concepts in the service industries as well. But um, it is much easier to focus on the manufacturing industries because the concepts are typically applied in manufacturing industries, and you can also implement those concepts in service industries, but it is easier to understand if we discuss these things or the concepts which are applied in manufacturing industries. The concepts are easier to understand if we give the examples from the manufacturing industries. That's why throughout this course, we will give the examples of the manufacturing industries, but those things are might be those things could be applied in the service industries as well. I'm not saying that all those concepts are applied, but several concepts are could be also applied in case of service industries. Okay, so the typical concept of if you visit any manufacturing industry, typically you will find that there are three units or sections, you can say, that which are related to production and operations. These three departments are: number one, design, and number two is production, and number three is quality control. So these three departments or units are basically uh, linked with production and operations management. Now, uh, in case of design section or design unit, the manufacturers, they actually design the product, okay, and the manufacturing unit or the manufacturing section, they manufacture the manufacturing unit or the production unit, they manufacture or produce the product. Okay, the typical production scenario is that one particular product consists of several parts or components. So first you need to produce those components or those parts, or you can also outsource some of the components, and then you assemble all those parts to assemble all those parts into a final product. And after making the product, you check the quality of the product, which is carried out by the quality control section or quality control unit. This is the typical scenario. But nowadays, uh, the quality section, that is actually merged with the production section, because this is actually the approach of one of the approaches of total quality management. And because quality, we always want, we always desire higher level of quality, and we want to minimize our defects right from the very beginning. That's why it is a common trend nowadays that whenever you are going to produce the parts or the components, and after each and almost each and every operation, you inspect that product, or you uh, control the quality of the product. So nowadays, quality control has also been merged with the production unit or the production section. That's why uh, in nowadays, when you will study production and operations, you study production and operations management, these sort of subjects or courses, uh, at least two or three lecture sessions you will find that are based on the quality control. Okay, so so now this is actually the objective of the study, that if you in future, if you work in these sections like quality control sections, then this course will help you to gain the basic knowledge of quality control, how to implement different concepts. And the most interesting part of this course is that there you will find that different types of quality control tools you will learn, and applying those quality control tools, you can use those tools uh, in the real life. So that is the most important benefit of this course. And also, if you do not work in the quality control department, it is quite expected that when you will uh, be, or when in future when you will get the higher positions, during that time you obviously need to focus on the quality aspects. So that is very important. Now, another thing that is I would like to say, so these are the phases of quality management. Okay, there are three phases. The first one is quality planning, then the second phase is quality assurance, and the third is quality control. The first phase, quality planning, it actually takes place before the production process, and quality assurance is during the production process, and quality control is, it is all about after the production process. In case of quality planning, you plan about your quality aspects, so it's all about do the right things. Whenever you are dealing with quality assurance, then whatever you have planned, you need to apply those things correctly. So it basically says that do things right, and when everything is over, then you are checking or you are verifying whether everything has been done as per the design or not. So done, it is associated with do, whether it is done the right things right. Okay, so basically quality control involves that whether uh, you have done everything as per the design specification or not, that is associated with quality control. But one thing is very important to keep in mind, that quality is a non-value adding, quality control or inspection, though it is essential activity, but still it is, you cannot say that it is a value adding activity. Inspection is obviously a non-value adding activities. In manufacturing industries, if you, in terms of value addition, you can classify all the activities in two ways. One is value adding activities and another is non value adding activities. Okay, what is meant by value? Value is actually defined by quality divided by cost. If uh, suppose there is a product, now you have done some operations. Now, if the quality of the product goes up or if the cost goes down, or if both take place, then you can say that the value of the product, uh, it has been increased. So this is typically known as, either you need to improve the quality to increase the value of a product, either you need to increase the quality or you need to reduce the cost. This is the basic concept of value. Now, there are some operations, for example, when you are performing some uh, machining operations or metal cutting operations, it is add, or suppose any surface finishing operations like grinding or polishing, it is considered as value adding operations. Okay, just have a look at this mobile. I have got a mobile phone. Okay, so you can see it, that this is mobile. So you can see that there is very smooth surface. Okay, how this smooth surface has been made? The manufacturers, they have used, first they have used the technique called grinding, which is a surface finishing operation, and then they have used polishing. Okay, so that's why the surface finish is very smooth. Okay, so it has, these activities have added value to the product. Okay, because the quality of the product has been improved. You can easily handle it. Okay, so these are known as the value adding activities. But there are some activities, for example, the material handling activities. If you transport one some materials from one place to another place, the quality of the product will not be improved, or the cost of the product also cannot go down. Okay, so the transportation or the uh, material handling, those are not value adding activities, those are non value adding activities. So similar, that here is also the similar thing, that is here the inspection is also like same. In case of inspection, this is not also value adding activity. The inspection is non value adding activities. Okay, so that's why what we suggest, or what the practitioners they suggest, we need to actually reduce the non-value adding activities as much as possible. That is one core concept of production and operations. But at the same time, if it is essential, then we need to keep it, or we cannot simply avoid those things. Okay, that's why actually quality, all the processes of quality control exist. It is a non-value adding activities, no doubt, but still we cannot avoid the processes of quality control, because if we avoid those processes, we won't be able to identify whether our product can meet the requirements of the customers or not. So meeting the requirements of the customers, that is a very, very important aspect of quality management, which is actually known as VOC, or technically it is known as voice of customers. So whatever you do, you should meet the customer specifications, as per the customer specifications, and you can also do something which goes beyond the customer's desire, or which is so that the customers are delighted, right? So now just have a look at this one, that cost of quality curve. Okay, so there are different types of costs associated with quality: prevention cost and appraisal cost. This is one component. And another cost is internal failure costs and external failure costs. What is prevention cost? This is the costs of preparing and implementing a quality plan. Appraisal cost, it's about costs of testing, evaluating and inspecting quality. Internal failure cost is about costs of scrap, rework and material losses. And external failure cost is about costs of failure at customer site, including returns, repairs and recalls. Okay, so you can see that in case of cost of quality curve, along x-axis we represent the quality level, and along y-axis we can represent the quality costs. So as the quality level increases, okay, the appraisal and prevention costs also goes up. This is quite natural, because the appraisal and prevention cost, it's all about I mean, before launching the product into the market, you are giving too much attention, and you are cautious, very much cautious. You are giving too much attention. You are giving your full effort to, uh, you are giving your effort to, so that it meets the quality level. Okay, so that is known as appraisal and prevention cost. So the more you take care of its functionality, so the appraisal and prevention, so that it does not fail in future, so automatically your appraisal and prevention cost will go up. And uh, in contrast, you can see that internal and external failure cost, as the quality level increases, the internal and external failure cost reduces. Why it reduces? Because if your quality level goes up, then obviously it will have a less chance to fail. Okay, so uh, you will from the end of the customer, you will they will not return the product, they will use the product. So the internal and external failure cost, it will obviously go down. So these two curves, you can see that they meet at this point, which is known as the optimum point. So if you want to find out the optimum quality level, so this is the optimum quality level along x-axis. If you draw a vertical line, this is the quality level which you desire, and the quality cost. What is the optimal quality cost along y-axis? This is, you can say that this is the optimal quality cost. Why this optimization is required? Because you want to know that how much quality level I should maintain and what should be its cost. Because if you maintain too much quality level, then automatically your cost will be too high. And uh, I mean, your prevention and appraisal cost will be very high. But and at the same time, if you want to reduce the quality level, then your internal and failure cost, external failure cost will be very high. Okay, so to balance these costs, you require this approach. This is a calculation of costs of quality. This is a simple formula is given. As per this formula, external failure cost, internal failure cost, appraisal cost, prevention cost, and sales, the cost of quality can be determined. Now, this is the evolution of TQM and relationship. This is the relationship with the industrialization. Okay. So here you can see that what is TQM? Total, uh, which is mm, so you can see here that uh, so this is the evolution of TQM and relationship with industrialization. So early 90s approaches, 1940s approaches, 1960s approaches, you can see that actually what this slide wants to say, that there is a difference between quality management and total quality management, or TQM approaches. Okay. Actually, before 1980, there was the concept of only quality management. But after 1980 and beyond, nowadays, This is the era of total quality management or TQM. Okay. Why? What is the difference between quality management and TQM? The difference is that in case of quality uh, management, it only focuses on the dimensional accuracy. Whatever dimension is given by the customer, or whatever tolerance or control limits have been provided by the, sorry, specification limits have been provided by the customers, whether as a manufacturer we can meet those things or not. It used to focus on only these things. So that's why this was the concept of quality management. But later on, nowadays, the manufacturer, they have a long-term approach rather than a short-term approach. They want to make the customers delighted, and not only the manufacturing or production and operations section or unit, but also the marketing department, the HR department, the finance department, all the other departments, and everybody is involved to maintain the quality. So this is a very much integrated approach and holistic approach. TQM is much more integrated and holistic approach as compared to the traditional concept of quality management. So that's why, what is TQM? If you are asked, then T stands for total. Everyone is involved in quality. It is continuously improving service to customers, management with data and profound knowledge. So you take care of these things, and as well as there are also other things. You can see the differences are given. The other things are also there. Okay, so that this is total quality management is a long-term approach. Every life cycle cost, procurement takes care of life cycle cost on part or partnerships. Okay, so a lot of things you can see there. This is the difference actually between quality management approach and TQM approaches. Okay. Now I will discuss about three key figures of quality management. You can see that there are three key figures: Deming, Juran, and Crosby. Okay, these are known as three quality gurus. So Deming, they propose a lot of quality concepts. For example, the Deming proposed PDCA cycle, plan, do, check, act cycle, which is very popular. There is Juran's quality trilogy and Crosby's zero defect approaches. So these things we will take care of later on. We will know in detail about these concepts. And apart from these key figures, there are also some other quality experts, obviously, like uh, Ishikawa. Ishikawa's fishbone diagram is very important. There is Taguchi's experimental, Taguchi's design approach is there. So there are also other quality gurus we will discuss later on. Now we are going to discuss, we'll talk about the structure of our course. Basically, in our course of quality management or total quality management, there are three parts. The first part is based on the core concepts of quality. That means statistical quality control, or SQC. For example, here you can see that under approaches of TQM, there are several topics: control chart and acceptance sampling. These two topics, they come under the statistical quality control part. Okay, so this is one part. And then there is another part that is based on the quality philosophy. So under quality philosophy, we will discuss different types of techniques that are proposed, that are or were proposed by the quality experts. Okay. And we will also discuss about some quality control tools, 7 or 8 quality control tools we will discuss. And finally, the third part is some additional topics. Okay, additional topics. These are the additional topics. You can see that under additional topics, there are Taguchi's experimental design, lean management or lean Six Sigma or lean Six Sigma you will find. And there is also, Deming's prize is there, and ISO 9000 and ISO 14000, those things will be discussed. These are some additional topics. Though ISO 14000, ISO 9000 is quality standard. You might have heard about ISO 9000, but ISO 14000 is not about quality standard. ISO 14000 is about environmental standard, but still we have kept it because we have found that in many research works they have highlighted that there is a strong, there could be a strong relation between the quality control and environmental performance, which is based on environmental performance is based on ISO 14000. So sorry, ISO 14000 is based on environmental performance. So ISO 14000 we have also kept. Okay. And these topics can be further classified into several dimensions. For example, we will in the next class we will discuss, the next lecture session we will discuss about the control charts. Okay. And the control charts are there are different types of control charts, but we have classified the control charts into this topic. We have classified into 3 parts. Okay, control charts we have classified into 3 parts. One is you can see that one is control chart for variables. This we will discuss. Control chart for attributes. This we will discuss. And also we will discuss about some special type of some other control charts like Kusum chart or EWMA chart or other types of control charts that we will also take care of. But the basic concept in quality management, we will obviously discuss all these things, but some intuition of quality control or quality management we will also try to provide. For example, actually the dimensional, whenever we talk about the dimensional accuracy, we basically talk about some upper control limit and lower control limit. Okay, these two limits are there, and there are also some terms which is known as upper specification limits and lower specification limits. Specification limits are provided by the customers, and the control limits are provided by the process itself. Okay, so we will also discuss in much more detail about the control limits and specification limits, but it's better that uh, I should present an example, because if I present an example, if I start my second lecture with the help of an example, I think the idea will be very much clear. So in the next class, we will start the control charts, and we will discuss about the control chart for variables. Uh, there is also control chart for attributes. I don't know whether time will permit or not, but first we will start discussing on control charts, giving an example of a shaft. Okay, and some in these cases uh, some different aspects of control charts will be given, and we will also give some concepts of the control, some other types of control charts. Okay, so uh, and whenever discussing the additional topics, there you can see there is another one very important topic is the Lean Six Sigma. In case of Lean Six Sigma, it is basically mixed topic, because lean management and Six Sigma, these two are mm, two different topics, but lean management and Six Sigma, they are actually here they are merged, because they are considered as complementary to each other. So that's why this topic will be also discussed. First, we will discuss the concepts of lean manufacturing, then the concept of Six Sigma, and then we will discuss about Lean Six Sigma. So this is basically the uh, outline or the structure of our course, quality management or total quality management. Thank you. Have a nice day.